Hi. Do you see this down here? That's a Dremel. Why is it in such an inconvenient spot, you ask, if you're using it all the time? Well, that's the thing. I don't. I use it occasionally, but I would love to use it more because I'm sure I have not even begun to unlock the full potential. I've been wanting to get into woodwork some more, specifically carving. Also, truth be told, I've been working on a completely different project for 2 weeks now, and I've bitten off more than I can chew. Nothing new there, and I just need to take more time on that to transform the mess that it is currently and that you can see up there into what it's supposed to be. So, quick detour, and I'm trying to see how much wood carved Dremel knowledge I can acquire in a day. My name's Tommy, by the way. Welcome. Before we get to that, and I fear there's no way for me to say this without it sounding awful, I'm gonna need some wood. Surely I can find something suitable in my garage. Aha. Dusty but suitable once I get this sticker off. And then I'm gonna have to figure out a piece without, you know, these things probably. Why would a sticker ever come off easily? I want to have a serious word with the people who develop glue for this kind of stuff. If I don't get any splinters during the entirety of this process, I think I can already count that as a success. Now I'm sure we're all asking ourselves the same thing. What are we gonna wood carve? Good question. I've been thinking about video games, specifically The Sims 2, because I play that a lot and there is some designs and items and whatnot in there that I've been thinking about making into like a real life whatever it's gonna be. But I'm also an absolute beginner when it comes to wood carving, or maybe even whatever stages before beginner, and there wasn't anything that I felt was suitable or easy enough. Because I was already in the realm of video games, I remembered that my happy place is the star base from Super Mario Galaxy. Remember when that came out, video games didn't have subscription models or in-game purchases? Good times. We're making one of these little guys, a Luma from Super Mario Galaxy. They're just like star creature things bobbing around, giving you quests, making cute noises, and floating around in a sea of stardust very adorably. Also, they don't have an insane amount of detail, so I think maybe I can manage this in a day. I printed out like the colorful version as a reference and then like a black and white one that I'm gonna use to transfer the line art onto the wood. I also was kind of trying to figure out how big the piece of wood should be in its entirety. I love a square. This little thing is obviously gonna be 3-dimensional. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do with the background yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I might leave like a nice frame around the whole thing as well. I did add the sizes of the different boxes that I made just roughly as a layout in centimeters. Measured it again once it was printed, and obviously, as per usual, the printer didn't printed the size that I made it on screen. In this case, it's not that bad. It's gonna be a little bit bigger than the centimeters that I had originally. But now that I'm looking at it, that's probably a good thing as well. But technology can be frustrating, and as much as I love PowerPoint, I also hate it for things like this. Now don't worry, I'm not going in completely blind. I'm gonna consult the construction manual like a non-delinquent. And also I have watched like 1 or 2, I think, Dremel wood carving tutorial videos on YouTube before. It's been a while though, so maybe I should refresh that. Regardless, I'm still terrified. Also, my biggest problem might be to cut out the actual square, because I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet. I don't use saws often because I like having 10 fingers. I've assembled this fucking thing, the stand, which I'm not even sure I needed like all of it. Studied all the instructions, and from what I gather, the safest way to use it is to not use it at all. Watched a couple more YouTube tutorials. They're all using much more specific bits, you know, for detailed wood carving specifically, which I don't have. I do have this pen attachment thing though, so I don't have to hold the big heavy one, which is nice. This has been a very spontaneous thing, and I don't even know if I like doing this yet, so I'm improvising with the bits that I do have. So that's gonna be interesting as well. I've done all the mandatory annoying stuff. Also, just gonna leave it as is for now. Carve right in the middle, and depending on how this even turns out, you know, if it turns out horrible, I don't even have to cut up a square. Do this using the oldest trick in the book. Cover the back of this in pencil, put it on here, trace the outline, and then the pencil is gonna transfer onto the wood. Got all my safety gear. Basically, I'm just gonna trace the outline and then, you know, round it out in each direction away from the line, basically, to make this sort of come out, give it a three-dimensional shape. We'll see how that goes. Also got my wireless headphones in case this noise is starting to annoy me. Honestly, not bad if I may say so myself. I tried a little bit of a 3D rounded effect around the legs and arms. I'm sure I could do a lot more with that, but I'm not quite confident yet. Maybe I got a little too trigger happy with the outside because it's, I don't know. I think the line is starting to get murky maybe, and I don't quite know what I'm gonna do with the background yet. If I leave like a frame around this guy, like I had intended on my template, like we leave this to the original wood height and him the main part as well, then it would probably look better if the in-between was like carved out, and that would make him really pop. Gonna go in and sort of try to take that down more. Maybe in the process sharpen the outline a little bit again, and then we're gonna see where I'm gonna go from there. That really made him pop. Luckily, went around the edges with this straight bit, and that just created this more crisp outline again. I think that's the right direction to go. I was worried about losing sort of the crispness of the outline. Hollowing that out completely, I think, is the right call. Cut out this square, put that around so that I know how big to make the background. Probably give it some sort of texture. What kind of texture? Could carve in a couple of stars in the background, maybe? Sand it down a bit at some point so that I can really see where I've been doing enough and where I need to do more. I'm actually really surprised with how well like the line work in and of itself before I even carved out any 3D stuff came out. Like I tried it a little bit over here. You can obviously feel when you're going like against the grain instead of with it. It's a bit more bumpy, but the lines come out still surprisingly straight, which I'm happy with. I thought that might be more of a problem. Learning a lot here, which is the point. Not gonna lie, carving into wood makes you feel kind of powerful. Maybe that's why it's called power tools. It does make me feel like I could get through a medieval castle door if I really wanted to, as long as there's electricity around. That might pose a problem. But yeah, I've had dinner. I don't have anything else to do tonight, so I'm just gonna keep carving away. I am gonna worry about the square last and how I'm gonna cut that out, because yes, this is a bit of a pain to turn around when I have to, but it's quite easy to hold it down, you know? I am very tired of the noise by this point as well, so BRB. It's not the most comfortable of a working circumstances. So no matter how well this goes, I'm not quite sure I'm gonna be doing this all the time, but it's been going pretty damn well. Went around the outline once again to deepen it more. I like it now. I could add like a little bit more of a round shape to the outlines of the Luma. I made like 4 little indents where I'm gonna add some extra stars in the background. So like the sky or space? Probably space. You know, space in every sense of the word is deeper ingrained into the wood, but not as deep as the deepest part of the outline that I made. And I thought about just flattening the whole thing to that level, but that seems kind of tedious. And I already went over it all once and then sanded it down like a little bit so it wasn't so rough looking anymore. It is bumpy, but I think I kind of like that texture. It gives it that more hand-carved look. I sort of tried to make the area around him that is even deeper a little bigger and slowly fade out into the space. Mimics the glow that is usually around these little star guys. I'm gonna keep it. Now that I'm looking at it, the bumpy texture thing is also sort of giving Van Gogh Starry Night. Perfect, we're leaving it as is. I think there's wood dust on my glasses. It does get everywhere. That's not news to me. Still not the nicest working conditions. And I still don't know how I'm gonna cut that out yet. Was fully thinking about just dremeling out this whole thing, but it's not exactly a thin wood plank. I don't really want this contraption to go up in flames, preferably, so maybe we're not gonna do that. Done for now. Anyways, I did a bit of sanding this morning, so it's not a day, let's say 24 hours, but for 1-day project from someone who's never done that before, I'd argue it's pretty good. I really like the little stars in the background, and I was thinking about like leaving them raised, you know, just like the Luma. Glad I decided to make them as like indents more so. Gave me the opportunity to try like a different effect. Really makes those look like they're far behind him in space. Those probably need the most sanding still. I need to sand like this entire thing before I'll stain it or anything. I just want to clean up some stuff and work on this some more before I do that. My Dremel needs to recover, I need to recover. I cut out this square with a saw by hand like a mad woman yesterday. So I need to chill a little bit. I've definitely done all the right arm workout that I needed to do for, I'd say like maybe 5 weeks worth. Yeah, that feels right. He's adorable, and you're definitely gonna see him again once he's fully done. Did I master the art of Dremel wood carving? No. Probably a lot better at it now than I was 2 days ago. Isn't that mad? The human experience is crazy. You know what else is crazy? The chaos in here. Because the thing about 1-day projects is you don't have time for cleanup, so it's an absolute fucking mess. Oh boy. I need to vacuum so bad. But if you want to know what my multiple week projects look like, especially when I'm working with material that I'm much more capable and experienced with, there's a bunch of those on my channel. And if you want to stick around to see what this mess is gonna be, it involves tentacles and my favorite Tim Burton movie. That's all I'm gonna say. I could really use some help in this algorithmic hellhole. We can fight the AI slop together. Wouldn't that be cool? Rock on or whatever. Bye.